Chapter 8. To Wander. The rest of the school day, as well as the walk home, were uneventful. Nothing happened that's worth describing. Tom arrives home, greets his mother, who is preparing dinner in the kitchen, and heads to his room. He throws his backpack into a corner, drops his clothes on the floor, and naked walks into the bathroom. Passing by the mirror, he notices his left arm is badly bruised. The wounds from the previous days still haven't healed. In fact, they've gotten worse. So that's what the mage meant when he said Tom's body wasn't ready for magic. He hasn't done anything too intense yet, so that must be the only explanation. Dinner with his parents is peaceful. It's been a few days since they all ate together, and his father, Arthur, makes a point to mention how apathetic Tom has seemed lately. It's not like Tom to be so quiet at home or do anything extreme, so this phase has felt a bit strange to his father. Still, the man doesn't seem particularly worried. Well fed, the boy returns to his room. It's still too early to sleep, but he's anxious for it, which is terrible because even if he tried, he couldn't fall asleep just like that. So to distract himself, he plays video games for a while. Later, he picks a movie to watch. That night's selection: The Keep, 1983. The movie ends a little after 10. His eyes start to close as the credits roll. He falls asleep without noticing, a film buff knocked out with the TV still on and no timer to turn it off. Tomas doesn't even notice when he wakes up at the same wooden table. He's back in the house where the mage was born. Everything looks exactly the same as it did on his first visit. It really must be a memory frozen in time. The scenery is as beautiful as the world he visited before, but clearly these are different planets. The mage exits the house shortly after the boy becomes aware of his surroundings. He still looks like Tom, but now wears clothes that seem straight out of an RPG convention. "Tom, what a surprise seeing you here again," says the fake Tom as he sits across from him. "Hi, you still haven't introduced yourself. What should I call you?" Tom tries not to sound rude. He needs answers. "You can keep calling me Mage like you and your friends have been doing. That's easier." A mug materializes in front of him, filled with some beverage. He casually starts to drink. If this is a dream, Tom should be able to do the same, but he fails miserably. "Why does casting spells hurt me so much?" He recalls the blood drops from his physics assignment. "Really? That's your first question?" The mage sighs, disappointed. "Let's see. There's never been a magic user in your world. At least not in all the time I've been alive. So all the energy that would normally have been used just sat there building up." Tom wants to interrupt but lets him continue. The question might already be answered. "So when you, with no experience, cast a spell, the amount of energy flowing through your body could literally make it explode." Tom's eyes go wide. He didn't expect it to be that dangerous. "You noticed what a simple telepathic message did to your arm? Now imagine something more complex." "Yeah, I noticed." In the dream, his body looks fine. "The good news is that Car's blessing finally got your brain working properly." "What do you mean?" He'd guessed this might be the case. Looks like he was right. Divine blessings usually don't do much. People get happy, have a couple days of good luck, that kind of thing. The blessing draws from ambient energy to take effect. It's just a kind of magic. And since your world has so much energy piled up, the effect was really strong. I just need to study how you managed to bring it into this plane. He falls deep into thought. "Hope it keeps working, then." Tom smiles. "So, what's hunting me?" "You must know." "Oh, I know." He takes another sip. "Every plane, without exception, has creatures that feed on mages. They don't exist on the same level as we do, so they can access all the dimensions I've ever been to. So I'm in danger, basically, because of you." Tom's voice drips with disapproval. "Basically." The mage stands and begins to circle the table. These creatures never cared much about Earth since there was nothing to feed on. But one of them must have come here, for who knows what reason, and noticed you. I don't think more will come unless you keep showing off. So if I stop using magic, I'll be safe? Of course not. That one's already seen you. They're smart. It's probably just waiting for you to ripen or something." Tom holds his head in his hands. This is not good. The upside is that you'll be able to defend yourself if it shows up again. Let's get going now. I've talked too much already. Before Tom can react, the mage sends him to another world. A flash of light blinds him. It really feels like he was hurled through some cosmic drain. Tomas finds himself once again lying on the floor of the rustic brick room. His new body seems to have been carelessly stored there, tossed in front of Kar's statue. Still dizzy, he gets up. His golem body is covered in dust, as if it had been abandoned for several days. Kar's spirit greets him as he brushes off the dirt. Welcome again, Tomas. Ready to explore Bushkar once more? It's not like I have much of a choice, do I? Tom grumbles, still irritated from what the mage had told him. On the contrary, you're as free here as in your world. If you wish, you can just lie down and sleep until you wake up again. That would be a waste of a good tourist opportunity. His tone is sarcastic, but deep down he means it. It would be a shame not to explore more of this new world. Can I ask something? Yes, my goal here is to help you. What are the creatures that feed on mages like? Do they exist here too? Oh, so you want to know about them? Them? Don't they have a name? Tom is frustrated with the lack of names in these conversations. Of course they do, but each culture calls them something different. Here in Zara, they're known as Shantanin. Zara? He hadn't heard that name yet. Zara is what people speaking the dominant language call this celestial body. Jantir is the other planet you probably saw on your previous visit. I see. And what are these Shantanin like? He'll have to defend himself from them eventually. Knowing more might help. Hard to say. Each one is different. They don't belong to a species. They might look like an animal or a person, but never exactly like one. Always distorted somehow. Like a demon. I wouldn't know. But it's possible that without a deity in your plane, they made contact, and that's where the term came from. It's just that demon is kind of an abstract term, usually religious, but today it can be anything evil. And they're never the same, but often have features like horns. Interesting. You might imagine a Shantanin as a demon. They're so diverse, there are probably ones exactly like what you imagine. He pauses briefly. But one thing you should know. The more dangerous a Shantanin is, the more human it looks. You mean in appearance or behavior? That's interesting. What attacked them growled like an animal, so maybe it wasn't one of the stronger ones. Both. Here, Shantanin are treated as legends. Since magic is widespread in Zara, no mage gets too powerful, so their presence goes mostly unnoticed. Shouldn't it be the opposite? If there are lots of mages here, wouldn't it be a feast for them? These creatures prefer to feed on people with high magical energy flowing through them, so the people of Zara aren't particularly appetizing. Are they easy to kill? That's the real question. A mage can easily kill a weaker Shantanin, if they know what to do. And the stronger ones? Can they kill powerful mages? Not in a direct fight, but those creatures don't follow the same rules. Complicated. Tom might be able to take on a wild animal or another person, but a demon would be much harder. He needs to figure out how to control the energy used in spells, or he'll end up getting himself killed by his own predator. I think you should go now. I don't want to take away your time to explore, and I have nothing more to tell you about the Shantanin. Tom just nods. The backpack he used earlier is near the exit. Everything looks the same, except for the dust. With the bag on his back, he climbs the stairs, ready to explore the world of Zara again. The day isn't as beautiful as the first time. Cloudy and grey skies. Jantir isn't visible on the horizon. Today, the boy decides to take the opposite path, even though the city is enormous and has many places he hasn't yet explored. Going the other way means only encountering new places. So, step by step, he heads down the road with Bushkar at his back. Tomas even considers contacting Trat. Calling her would be the smart option. After all, they already know each other, and she could keep teaching him a thing or two about magic. However, he wants to make the most of this freedom to explore the unknown. Going into the city to study sounds like responsibility, and right now he just wants some peace. The beginning of the path doesn't look much different. There are many rural properties with crops and animals. This setup stretches on until the city disappears from view. Slowly, even the farms start to vanish, giving way to a more untamed landscape. The yellow-leafed trees are still the most prominent, but other colours and shapes join the forest along the road, making the vegetation much denser. Tom hadn't imagined he'd pass through a place that could be considered wild. In his modern world mindset, to reach a place like this, you'd have to travel kilometres to a protected area. Either way, the road seems well maintained. He probably won't be in danger if he stays on it. The damp smell of nature, the sounds of hidden animals, all of it brings him joy as he walks, like a hiker blazing a new trail. This strange nature is his reward. After a long while, the forest gives way to shorter vegetation. A small, furry animal that vaguely resembles a rabbit catches his attention. The creature munches on some berries from a bush while the boy watches. He would have stayed there longer, but suddenly he smells something rotten coming from nearby, off the road. Following his not-so-sensitive nose into the undergrowth, which isn't very dense anymore, he startles the pseudo-rabbit. Not long after, Thomas finds a body lying on the ground near a tree. The corpse belongs to one of Zara's natives, 4 arms and fairly skinny, like most of the people he'd seen. With no real knowledge, he guesses decomposition happens similarly to Earth. Recalling all the CSI episodes he's ever watched, Tom assumes the body has been dead for a few days. He's no detective, but he starts playing the role, trying to deduce what might have happened. There's no weapon nearby, at least none he recognizes, and the scene doesn't look disturbed. His only clue is the tree's branches, several of them broken from some impact. Maybe the person climbed the tree, lost their balance, and fell, snapping the branches on the way down. Tom isn't sure if this world even has police to report this to, but that thought quickly vanishes. It's not that he doesn't care. He's just a visitor here, with almost no consequences. So he figures he might as well take this chance to do something he'd never dare do, something that might even help him. Without hesitation, the boy approaches the corpse and rifles through its clothes and pockets. If no one else has searched yet, he might find something useful. There are a few coins on the body. Thomas recognizes the money. He saw Tratt use it at the market during his first visit. He doesn't know the value, but it could come in handy. After pocketing the coins, he continues his looting. Under the body is a small bag with a few books and scrolls, as well as a metal device. Even after handling it, he has no idea what it's for. Since the corpse won't be needing the items anymore, Tom stuffs them into his backpack. And just like that, he completes his first crime on another planet, eternally staining humanity's reputation as grave robbers. With nothing else to do, Thomas returns to the road. As he walks, he wonders why he took the body's belongings. As real as it all seems, he still sees it as a dream or a video game. His actions while inhabiting the golem don't reflect how he behaves in his real body. He can't quite explain it, but it feels like playing a role. And in that moment, it felt like the right thing to do. Besides, the money might be useful. The forest fades behind him, and Tom spots a kind of settlement up ahead. He notices a railway line cutting through the area. The tracks come from the opposite direction of Bushakar, pass through the settlement, and then stretch across the plains. The tracks continue far into the horizon, where the silhouettes of distant structures blend into the cloudy sky. As he gets closer, he sees the place looks like a station, with houses around it, what appear to be shops, and a small square. The village seems much larger than it looked from afar. People walk the streets chatting casually. There's quite a crowd here. On the other side of the tracks, more houses are spread out irregularly, most with some kind of garden or crop nearby. Now, in the middle of civilization, Tom notices people staring at him. He'd forgotten that happened before too. If he weren't a stranger on another planet, maybe he wouldn't feel so awkward. But that's not the case. Only when the high-pitched whistle of the approaching train sounds do people stop staring and head to the platform. Thomas has never ridden a train before. This is the perfect chance to fix that. The strange train soon appears. It's coming from Bushkar, but where it's going is a mystery. There's info at the station about its itinerary, but the boy doesn't notice. He can't read the language. The locomotive resembles an old steam engine. Its first car is clearly the motor. He can see the steam escaping from it. There's also a huge milky glass orb on the front, just above the cowcatcher. All the other cars, styled like the buildings he saw in Bushkar, are for passengers. When the train finally stops at the station, the orb turns black instantly. No one seems to disembark, or at least Tom doesn't notice. Almost everyone at the platform boards, and Tom follows the flow. He tries to watch how much money the locals pay for the ticket, but no one does. Feeling like a true comrade, Tomas boards the train and heads to the back cars, where there are still empty seats. At the station, it looked like a mob was going to board, but to his surprise, the locomotive fits everyone and still has space. Excited, he settles into one of the vacant benches, with no one across from or beside him. Perfect for enjoying the view. The wooden scent of the car is pleasant, very different from a school bus. Again, the sharp whistle echoes through the station. Soon after, the machine starts moving. The train picks up speed quickly, and the little village vanishes behind them. As he begins enjoying the changing landscape, two people sit near him, one beside him and one in front, facing backward. Awkwardly and out of politeness, he greets them with a simple, "Hello." Tom doesn't realize several people further back are watching the interaction. "Hi, you're not from around here, are you?" asks the person sitting in front of him. Their eyes are unlike any he's seen. Yellow like the leaves of the surrounding trees, intense and large. Her brown hair is tied into an ornate braid that cascades down her torso. Their voice sounds like trats. Maybe it's a woman. "No, I'm not from here," he replies, uneasy. "Yeah, I've never seen you before." "And you came by the road." "Almost no one uses that path," says the person next to him on the bench. "The girl?" She's sitting uncomfortably close. Unlike the one in front of him, her eyes are black, similar to the general population. Her hair is short, bob-cut, and her 4 arms are adorned with colourful bracelets. "I'm Trinidad Carr. She points to the yellow-eyed one, is Lullaby Gall." "Nice to meet you." He's very uncomfortable, especially because Lullaby is looking at him like she's seeing something beyond, like she's staring into his soul and a little further. "And you, what's your name?" Lullaby asks, still watching him with her giant yellow eyes. "Sorry for my lack of manners. My name is Tomas." "Is that a nickname?" Trinidad asks playfully. "No, it's my actual name." "Seriously? That's unusual. And under which deity were you blessed?" she continues. "As far as I know, none." Both of them look surprised, but try their best not to show it, as if trying to impress him somehow. Impossible. You just don't know or don't remember. At this point, Lullaby notices Tom's missing second pair of arms, but looks away to avoid embarrassing him. It's funny because the boy doesn't even care that his other arms are still lying in the dust with Carr's spirit. "And where are you going?" Trinidad asks as she fixes her hair, now tousled by the wind. "I don't know," he laughs. "I just boarded to see where it goes. I have no idea." "Are you okay?" "I've seen cases where spells go wrong and people lose their memories. That didn't happen to you, did it?" She takes the chance to move closer and check his head for any wounds. "Don't be dumb, Try. If he doesn't remember anything, how would he remember hitting his head?" Both laugh. Tom tries to laugh too, but can't. "I don't exactly have a destination, I just have to go. I need to learn to use spells in Bushkar, but today I decided to explore a bit." "I see. You must have come from far away to study there. No wonder your name is so strange," Trinidad says as if it's an absolute fact. "We had lessons at the academy when we were younger, but I didn't have much talent to keep going." But Lullaby still studies. She turns more toward him. You must know lots of spells if you're still studying. Lullaby crosses one pair of arms on the seat back and rests her chin on them. Not really, he replies sheepishly. I have no idea how to do any of that. So far, I've only learned how to send messages. This genuinely surprises them, just like it had with Trat earlier. How do you even survive like that? I don't think I could do anything, Trinidad says, placing her hand on his shoulder. Then she notices the missing arm. Her hand jerks back on impulse, and Lullaby glares disapprovingly. No clue, but I'd better start figuring it out. Lullaby smiles and rummages through her small bag. She pulls out a notebook, writes something in it, tears out the page, and hands it to him. When you want to learn, go to this address in Bushkar. He's a relative of mine. I'll let him know I sent you. I'm sure he'll help. Tom takes the paper and thanks her. The note has a lovely floral scent. For some reason, the smell gives him chills. He tucks it inside his backpack, hoping it's still there when he returns to this world. The soft buzzing of his alarm begins to rise amid the conversation. Gradually, the voices fade until Tom finds himself awake in his room, turning off the alarm. He doesn't get up right away. He stays there for a few seconds, hands still on the clock, thinking about everything that had happened. He wants to understand why he feels so different in that other world. He would never have robbed a corpse for real, but that's exactly what he did.